Your organization, APSCUF, working with lots of legislators, were able to turn a good portion of that back. Do you have any idea what is APSCUF doing to work with Governor Wolf so this first budget that he'll have on higher education might set a better tone between the administration and the higher education community?
Yeah, you mentioned that initial budget. That initial budget had a 50% cut in it. That was the recommendation of the governor. It was the legislature that reduced that to 18%, which is still a pretty sizable cut. 18% only looks good when you compare it to 50%, but that 18% has had ramifications at the universities. We did manage to work to fight that back. You mentioned that we work with legislators and others. I think we also have to really mention the students who showed up at the Capitol building, spoke to their legislators about it, and really made the case. Right now, we're in communications with them. We are trying to make the case that the system needs additional money. The system itself, for the first time in a long time, is asking for additional funds. They're asking for $50 million more than what they are getting now. We're not content with that because that $50 million covers the sort of the gap that exists right now, with no other expenses accounted in. So there's any increases at all, the $50 million doesn't cover those increases. And it certainly doesn't cover any of the cuts that were made to various different key programs at the universities. So we're trying to make the case that we need that at least the $90 million back. If we were going to be trying to get back to exactly where we are, we'd have to be asking for much, much more. But we want that. We believe we need the $90 million back so that we could deliver on the promise of a quality public higher education to our students, which we're required to do. But we're going to go one step further, and we're asking not just for the 90, we're asking for $110 million. And the reason why we're asking for $110 million is that we think with that $110 million, we could say to the middle-class families in Pennsylvania, look, you suffered, you paid more, you deserve 2 years of a tuition freeze. So the students have seen 7% in that initial year when there was the cut, and then 3% every year since 2011. So I think it's time to give a break to the middle class, the working families of Pennsylvania. That's who we service. And we believe that every student, every family should have a shot at the American dream. And part of that American dream has been that you get a college education so that you can advance and that you have a chance to make a good living. And like I said before, it's a benefit to the Commonwealth too, both in terms of what those people give back in terms of tax dollars when they have better careers, but also in terms of the fact that we have better citizens. We're a more educated society, and there's certainly, I would hope nobody would argue that that's a public good.